Today's show is brought to you by NordVPN. Make sure to go check it out at marfugelnews.com/VPN. What is going on, guys? My name is Adam, a.k.a. Marf, and this is Marfugel News. Today we are going to be talking about a lot of stuff, including I ran to the store having a basement full of missiles. They're calling it Missile City. And Xi Jinping telling his military to get ready for you know what. We'll be right back right after this. All right, what is going on, my Fugels? This is a live call-in show, so anything can happen. Make sure to keep in mind our number is down below, 224-400-MARF. And remember, you can get notifications directly from us. If you're not getting the proper notifications or you're depending on platforms, make sure that you realize that that is not smart. Always get ours directly from us. The second we click live, those notifications go live. Our notifications go out. So remember, go to marfugelnews.com, and you can also sign up for push notifications that go directly to your phone. Not only that, you can sign up for our email list. Everything we're going to show you here today, including I to the ran to the store, is actually planning an electronic conflict. I'll show you proof of that with sources. In fact, every article, every single tweet, every single video that we're going to have here today is going to be backed up with a source. If not, then we will make sure to clarify. So there's anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 people watching every live show, sometimes upwards of 15. So it can be a great time. If you're new here, I hope you realize that everybody here is really welcoming, and it's going to be an awesome time. All right, and then to follow along, you can grab a second device or a tablet or go back retrospectively through all of the news we have today, including more. You can go to the website, marfugelnews.com, and you'll see a future without electronics. There you will see that we have taken the time before every single live show to link every single article, have a source there, a bibliography of sorts. And then on the right side, if you want to support us, you can do so by using that box. If you click that for Amazon, you will end up using our link or SmartCover or any of the other affiliate products like VPN. And then, of course, there is web-only content. We'll remind you to go over there as well later. But a lot of the stuff that's too hot for YouTube, we put there. So all extra content that is there for you, you can go at it as you wish. All right, let's bring in Dex, my co-host, and then we're going to get straight into the news. Dex, what is going on, my internet brother?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Fugel fam. How's everybody tonight?
Good. Thank you, everybody, for being patient. Over the weekend, we had some pretty awesome things happen, so we'll let you know about that later this week. First of all, U.S. air travel rises to highest levels since the pan hit. It says across the United States, air travel is recovering more quickly from the depths of the pandemic, and it's showing up in longer airport security lines and busier traffic on airline websites. So basically, they're saying that people are going back to normal. This is what everybody is saying, that the vibe is now that we got, what's his face pulling the strings, everything's going back to normal. I don't feel that way. In fact, I think that of course, I think it's really weird if everything is as it is. Why would they be doing all of this? My governor here in Washington has all of a sudden flipped the script and said, we need all of our kids back in school ASAP right now, which is just absolutely wild to me, because if you look at how much has changed, not much has changed as far as the numbers go. So I think it's kind of weird, but that's just my personal opinion. Of course, that I think it gives credence to a lot of different people and their thoughts right now. It says the Transportation Security Administration, or the TSA, screened more than 1.3 million people on Friday and Saturday, setting a new high since the CV devastated travel a year ago. Airlines believe that the numbers are heading up, with most people booking flights for spring and summer. It says, quote, our last 3 weeks have been the best 3 weeks since it hit, and each week has been better than the one prior. Another thing that I want to point out is at one point during this event, You had, Dex, we looked it up at one point. For me to fly to Georgia, it was like $38 or something like that. And I think there was like a deal for $63 round trip from Seattle to Georgia and back.
Yeah, there's been some really cheap flights. It's interesting because we'll see if this changes now.
Yeah, exactly. Are the prices for these flights going to go up? Now that you're able to travel, of course you won't be able to because the prices will all go back to normal. Who knows?
And I'm sure fuel prices are going up too for airplanes.
Exactly. And I don't even know how they got down that cheap if that's how it was in the first place. Travis Morris, thank you so much for popping in tonight on YouTube. Doc Bill says, I ran to the store, breaches the 2015 nuclear deal, raises fears that the country is paving the way to start work on nuclear weapons. Doc Bill, we're going to be talking about all of that and more, but thank you for posting that. For Zombie 8, thank you so much. Says from the 98003, what is up and thumbs up? Washington, I believe. Thank you, and what is going on? Yinzer Prepper, get a mag ready. Life will be easier after the fall in numbers and trusted friends. Yinzer Prepper, that is a very dark and probably true statement. Just Me Isathu says China has at least almost every harbor from Australia, NZ, Africa, and I believe California. Thank you for all of those comments. I really do appreciate them. And again, to get more into this, if you realize that travel is going back to normal, people are going back to schools, everything is going to be back to normal. But we know that that's not right, right? Again, I have lots of things that I'm probably going to say on a different kind of platform there. There's a lot of just weirdness out there, and then we have the IRS started processing your stimulus checks Friday. Money begins arriving in accounts. So for anybody that is desperately waiting for this, again, this I heard that there is something that is very different about this, and I already know people that are being affected by it. Apparently, they did not put in this bill that it would not be affected by creditors. So some people are actually not getting their stimuluses because creditors are grabbing it beforehand. Now, if you think about some of the most hardest affected by this event, how in the world would they take, how much have they given just in total? Dex, what was the total amount they've given? They've given the, what was it, $1,200 per person the first time around? Do you remember what all of them were? It's been $1,200, $600.
Well, I think the first one was $2,000, and then the last one was $600, and then this one will be $1,400 to equal another $2,000. Isn't that about right?
I don't know. I didn't get
something like that.
I didn't get it.
I didn't get it either. So,
and I should have got it. My wife got the first one, but then didn't get the second. And we had another child that actually was not on that because we had if you know how it works, you have to file the tax report for it. And then my child didn't exist. So we didn't get all of them. And then they denied. And then they basically said that mine was lost. So there's a lot of weird things there that have happened. But everybody has a personal story about this. The thing is there's a lot of people that need this right now. And now the creditors are going to be taking a lot of them, which I just think is lame. If you think about what this originally was for, what they said it was for, obviously it's not. I mean, come on. This over a year, for those of you who lost your job for an entire year or have lost your job and cannot go back, most people think that most everything is back to normal, or even servers, even though, you couldn't sit people inside, they found some position for them. There were a lot of people that were out for, 6 months, a year, that have had no job and could not get another job. Think about all the servers and all the restaurants that closed down for that first chunk. How do you, and again, they wouldn't kick people out and you couldn't evict somebody, but guess what? They never said anything about not owing that back money. So all of those people will owe, what is it? They'll be a server, doing minimum wage plus tips, and then all of a sudden they're going to get a bill for $8,000 or $10,000. Around here, the average one-bedroom apartment is $2,000 in Seattle. So all of those people that are, have $2,000 rent, all of a sudden after 4 months of not working, and they cannot work, it's not like they were fired or anything that they did, all of a sudden they can't work, they don't get evicted, but after 4 or 5 months, all of a sudden they get either an eviction or $10,000 notice or more. There are people I've heard that have had $18,000 to $22,000 in rent bills that have come. And when that kind of rule goes away, they said, and they know for a fact, that there is going to be more evictions than any other time in history. So pretty wild. Hopefully you get your stimulus here. Let us know if you've had a positive or negative experience with your stimulus. Did you get the full thing?
So one thing that I heard, and maybe somebody can verify this when they get it, I've heard rumors that they didn't actually update the name of the current administration on it. I know the current administration's name is not on it, but there's been some rumors that some of them have still gone out with the old administration's name on them for this third round.
Well, what would that say too? That would be really weird. Again,
that's really weird. Now we need to verify it. I've just heard this in the space that people are saying that. So if you get one, take a look. If you get it, paper wise, not everybody gets the paper one. Most people get direct deposit.
Yeah, is it going to be from the last the last admin, and they're just getting it late? Let us know. Substance Point says, but did you know that the private debt collectors can garnish for debts such as private student loans, credit card debt, and medical debt? Substance Point, no, I'm not an expert on that, but again, I think something like that should be put in video form. There's a lot of things that I think that the general public does not know, including myself, that, that's what the lovely part about YouTube is. We can all learn. Louisiana Skywatch, it's a shame they are not doing the less fortunate any favors. That is completely true. And again, it's really rough out there, and I understand that there's a lot of people hurting. And then Brian Susmalich says, mine didn't show up, but all others did. There's people that have been in a house with, 7 people and everybody else got them, but they didn't. Genuinely, like, I made under the amount that you're supposed to make, and I didn't get one. And the first one I did the taxes for and everything. So numbers-wise, I should have got a full check. Didn't get it. So, and they make it a pain in the butt if you didn't get it. A literal pain in the butt. All right, and then, so be happy, though, if you do get it. That is awesome, and super happy for all you guys. And then we've got Florida's new invasive species is a 10-foot-long river monster. I saw the picture of this thing, and I was like, holy crap. It says, out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida is already in a battle with a dangerous and invasive species, like the Burmese python, green iguana, and lionfish, and now there's a new predator in the state called a arapaima. It's a fish that can grow up to 10 feet long and weigh hundreds of pounds. This thing is an absolute beast. It says a dead one recently washed ashore in Cape Coral's J.C. Park along the Coolasahatchee River, which runs the Lake Okeechobee west of the Gulf of Mexico. Man, that was a hard paragraph, but I somehow got through the entire thing. It says that the arapaima is native to the Amazon River in South America and is one of the world's largest predatory fish. Its scales are said to be as impenetrable as armor. What a nuts fish here. It says, and it's ugly, at least to most people. Somebody says, I think it's kind of cool, said Captain Josh Constantine, who has been fishing the waters near the Coolasahatchee River for more than 20 years and has been a guide for his business, Coolasahatchee Cowboy Charters, for more than a decade. So this is what the thing looks like. And apparently, I saw in the comments of this the original story that somebody was bit by one of these and went to the hospital, and they didn't know if it was poisonous at first. Because they didn't, this is like a new, the thing is it's new to this area. This thing's been in, why are these animals moving too? Why is this fish even over here? Did somebody bring it over, or did it somehow go across the world, or, it's in the wrong waters? A lot of people say that the poles are messing with fish's migration because they have a natural compass inside them, and a lot of these animals are basically off right now. Because the poles are, constantly moving around and things are going haywire. I know that there's a lot of you that actually have a real theory on that, and probably a very dedicated one. And then, of course, we have Constantine said the arapaima might be the closest thing to a tarpon, which is a big athletic fish native to Florida's waters and popular species for game fishermen. Like tarpon, arapaima are capable of jumping out of the water for food and their prey, including small mammals, lizards, birds, and other fish. Think about if a 10-foot fish like this jumped out and grabbed your kid. They actually jump out of the water to grab birds and small prey. That's nuts. That's like an alligator without legs. So, if you see one, send us a picture. I would love to get it at adam@marfugelnews.com. If you're from the area, I'm sure we could. It would be awesome to see an actual picture of one. And then, of course, we'll get into this after the first call. Magnitude 4.8 earthquake shakes buildings in Tokyo. No tsunami warning. And then, of course, we had a local earthquake that was in a very weird area here in Washington. Dex, again, I'll remind people if we don't have any yet. The number is 2244-00-MARF. Again, the number is 2244-00-MARF. And let me just go over here. And then thank you, Christine O, for heading over to PayPal. I appreciate you during the show. And then Cynthia C, thank you as well for your contribution. Gone Girl, thank you as well. Says, much love. I'm out of the hospital again, just resting. Love you all. Fugel fam, love. Hey, Gone Girl, I hope you are doing really well, and I hope that you are better. Again, if I wish that everybody would go and pray for you or send in their positive vibes. I to be honest, I knew that there was a problem, so I'm hoping that it's all better. And then let's get Knowledge on the phone. Knowledge is going to be talking about cadaver bags and a video.
Just another second.
Okay. And this calls out of New Jersey. Knowledge, you are live on Marfugel News.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, how are you doing? Knowledge.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, this is bad.
So I'm going to pull up this video. What are we looking at?
All right, so I guess there's two videos. You got the first video, right?
Yes, I do. And I know not the second one I'm not going to end up playing.
Okay. Yeah, so the first video, it was a two-part video. It was a guy who works in a warehouse, and he noticed a big shipment had come in of boxes, and when he had noticed what it said on the boxes, he decided he made the first part of the video, and he showed the whole warehouse because the whole warehouse was filled. On the bags it says body bags or cadaver bags, something like that.
And it's titled "Let the Bodies Hit the Bags." So,
hey, Adam, let me jump in. If you can just show timestamp 38 or just click through because it's not his video.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we have 38 seconds here. And where was this supposedly at?
That I'm not sure either. I just know it's a warehouse that he worked at. He showed a panorama of the whole warehouse. You could see the whole warehouse was filled. He said, he explained what was on the boxes. The latter part of the video, somebody had asked him to prove what the boxes said. So he walks up and he walks down the line and he shows you all the boxes, what they say on them.
Oh, so he was live streaming, and then, of course, they asked him. So hold on. Well, I guess it's all context. So Knowledge, the thing is I'm just wondering where he is. If he's at a Walmart, then that would be a little bit alarming. But is he at a company that sells those? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, no, they don't typically sell that. That was something odd for him. He said that FedEx was coming up to pick them up, and he showed that there was a FedEx trucks picking them up. So it's just a warehouse that had stuff coming in and out constantly. So not like a typical, like a Walmart, like an inventory warehouse, I would say.
So he actually said, do a video proving it's bags, please. So then he goes over and takes video of it. I would love to. I want to look into this now because obviously it's not. it's a minute of context, and we definitely need more than that. I want to know where, what is the purpose of this? Because causing false alarm over something. So say if the guy works at a cadaver bag company, then it would make complete sense. You know what I mean? But very freaky if it's not.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Knowledge, thank you for bringing this to my attention. Again, I will check out your video of this. And again, if this is your channel, correct? Knowledge 2020?
Yes. Yes, this is my channel. I have some other videos on there that you guys might want to check out too if you get a chance.
All right. Well, again, this was Knowledge 2020. The video is going to be linked on our website. You can go to marfugelnews.com and watch the whole thing of this gentleman walking through a warehouse and pointing out that they now have these kind of bags here, which is very creepy. I don't think there is a single scenario where that word is not creepy. Okay. So thank you, Knowledge, again. Thank you for calling in. And back to the news. We actually have a 4.8 earthquake shakes buildings in Tokyo. No tsunami warning. It says that an earthquake of preliminary magnitude of a 4.8 struck in central Japan's Abaraki Prefecture, north of Tokyo, about 4:56 a.m. local time. One thing that has been said about this, and I'm watching for Dutch Sense to look at this as well, is that some of the people, like, of course, BP Earthwatch and all these other awesome people that cover this, think that this could be something that is shaking something loose, like something bigger could follow. After 2011, a lot of people watched Japan really closely. I would have to say, wouldn't you agree, Dex? Do you remember where you were when you saw the footage from Japan? Because when I was 2011, I was sitting at a counter in a restaurant waiting for food.
Yeah. I don't remember where I was, but I do remember the image of seeing that tidal wave, right? That was just intense. And he was trying, it was that and the other one that was it Indonesia? Both of those both really stick out in my mind, like that flood, that whoosh of water. Does anybody live through that?
What particularly stuck with me is after it, just a couple days after Japan, they showed pictures of this gentleman holding on to it. There was two people holding onto a tower in Japan, and it was like I want to say it was like a 15-story building or something, or 10-story building. It was an office building that was, it wasn't a skyscraper, but it was up there, and the guy was holding on to their antennas, and one of the persons flooded away, and the other person held on. And I want to say the guy was like a mayor or something. If you know that story, put it down in the chat below or put it in the comments below if you remember that. Something sticks out to my head saying, like, I thought I saw him on live news, and then we found out later that was somebody important, like the mayor or something, somebody that was big. And I think the main guy or the big wig ended up surviving, but some other person got flooded away right next to him. If you've ever seen the movie with what was it, Ethan? The movie where they replicate the 2004 Indonesian flood, that movie was so realistic in a just a disturbing way about what happened to them and that was based on a true story. The floods and tsunamis are the scariest thing you could ever have. So luckily we have no tsunami there. And then, of course, an apocalyptic sandstorm turns day into night as skies turn orange and hundreds go missing. It says incredible footage has shown how skies above several cities in China have turned into an orange haze after the worst sandstorm in 10 years hit. The sandstorm, combined with high air pollution, engulfed the southwest region of Mongolia. So that is absolutely crazy. It says that it has so far killed 10 people, with 548 more missing on Monday. Dex, I don't think I've ever heard of a sandstorm taking people out like this. I guess, is this more of a thing somewhere else? Like, I could see a sandstorm taking people out in on Mars, but not here.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was just watching a historical thing, and they talked about the Dust Bowl back in the day when we lost all the topsoil. But this is, what was this, in Mongolia? So this is in China. This is probably a really strange event for them to have, completely darken out the sky from this type of storm. I think it's, very apocalyptic, if you want to think that.
This literally looks like a canvas that was painted orange and then just has a couple brush strokes on it. But that's an actual picture of. I don't know. What is that? Again, there's a. I don't know if that's probably an after shot. Is that insane or what?
I'm guessing that's like a road, right? And maybe a vehicle, and you just can't see it.
This looks biblical. It says local residents called it a doomsday moment as they struggle to differentiate between day and night. They don't even know what time it is because of this. I mean, obviously. It says viewers commented on video sharing app Douyin and compared the eerie scenes as something spotted from Mars. Of course, they put it like that too. It says one said, feels like you're on a different planet now, Mars. Another wrote, this is so scary to watch. I've never seen such a huge sandstorm in my life. Someone else says, my son woke up in the middle of the night saying he can't breathe, a third shared. He looked up and saw the cloudy, blurry sky. It says Beijing, China's capital city, was also hit by the sandstorm today. A real-time air quality index showed a maximum reading of 655 in Beijing, which is categorized as hazardous, meaning everyone may experience a serious health effect, according to Air Quality Index. Is this a tit for tat? I just wonder. With all of the questioned technology that's out there, and then, of course, we had something where, we had a situation here with an air index problem. I don't know if you guys remember, but the entire West Coast was on fire. It was pretty nuts. And then our ally, just wanted to point out they're an ally, Australia had fires all around. But of course, that was most likely, natural. All right. And continuing, do you think that this was a natural event? All right, let me wanted to make sure. Can you guys just let me know if I sound too peaky? I know Dex, you probably can't tell, but if everybody can just give me a thumbs up in the chat if they can. If the sound is good for whatever reason. I don't know if these earphones are going bad, but it sounds like I'm peaking. Lisa K, it says, I know this is going to sound crazy. Says, has anyone heard of the 3 days of darkness? 3 days of darkness. Some say coming. I don't. I've heard of different amounts of days for some reason. Some say that it's already happened, and then some say that it's coming. Jimmy Shively, thank you for gifting out Marfia badges to Mad Cat Kitty. Thank you. I appreciate that, Jimmy Shively, and thank you for your massive support of the channel. Informed Woman, thank you for the diamond. Says, the needy homesteader. Her fam needs support. So I believe we've talked about that on the show. I think didn't they have a car accident or something like that? We will make sure to put up the appropriate links if necessary. The Saxon, do you know something we don't in the coming months? The Saxon, good question. I feel like I've pretty much said what I know, and I feel like both myself and I've talked to somebody you guys consider YouTuber, and I feel like we've actually communicated what we absolutely know as fact, but we can't say it like that. So I feel like I feel like I've pretty much well communicated what I believe. And if people don't believe me, that's up to them. We don't, we don't do it for views. We get the same views no matter what because of the score that we have. So it doesn't really matter what we do or say. So I hope that people just prepare accordingly, and I hope they listen to their peers and the other people in the chat. Angel of Love, thank you for your support. I really do appreciate it. Maddie's Mommy 14, thank you as well. All right, let me go over to Polls seem to be flipping. Who was that? That was Team Ramrod. What's going on? And lots of thumbs up. Thank you guys for giving me feedback on that. Roaming Wolf says, I had a dream the same night as Bones at the super darkness of that. Joe Mack says, yes, she lost her husband. Oh my gosh. I am so sorry, Needy Homesteader. I am praying for you, and I'm praying for your husband. And I believe it was a car accident. I'm so sorry. Do not give up. Hey, Fugle family. Oops, 3 days are 3 years, says April Fierce, family C2G. Yeah, it's a pretty dark time. Are we truly in a pole shift, says Informed Woman. Mersa1, what's going on? Rapture Girl Now. Hey, Vensley, ONG. Let's see here. Yong. Sorry about that. Lisa R. Hall, what is going on? Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the mods that are in the house right now. Again, big shout out to Lisa and everybody else in the crew over there, Bones, and of course WV and J Stone 78. They've given a lot of their time out for the channel, so thank you. Tina, Moosey, Louisiana Skywatch is in the house. Courtly James, James Turnich, Tracy Gilver. Thank you all for being here. So just to give you my opinion, I almost think that that's like might be a tit for tat. Cannabis inhibits SARS-CoV-2 replication in human lungs. Dex, do you want to explain this as far as the COV stuff? I know that you're getting what's his face on the phone right now, but if you could explain this from your point of view, that would be great.
Well, as we've seen time and time again, I guess there's always new research that comes out that sort of explains different things that they can use this product for. And in this scenario, they're looking at the potential for it helping, I wouldn't say cure, because that's not what it's about, but it's about reducing some of the expansion, I guess, in the current CV and how it affects your lungs. So using this can potentially, that's the current research. They're looking into it. So kind of an interesting, discovery. And I know that we always see new discoveries for this because while it's a really old medicinal product, it's a really old plant, and a lot of people have probably been, enjoying it for years or using it medicinally for years and decades and centuries for that matter. It hasn't really been widely studied. So in recent years, we're seeing more and more studies and research come out of different uses and potential uses for this this plant.
I also heard, I'm just going to put it up on the screen. Crazy January 9th article came out here locally, Cairo 7. In fact, Dex, if I could, I'll send this to you. I think I already texted it to you earlier. This article is very interesting. They say they're the lowest in recorded history, of course, to the thing. The lowest is actually 0. So I guess there was no deaths due to that. So I thought it was pretty interesting. Again, this is a mainstream news, basically, letting you know about that stuff. It's crazy how much this has changed everything to the point where we have 0 perished from, that season, right? Pretty crazy. I thought that was crazy. Because everybody's doing that and super close in the stores and stuff. And and then of course we have, let's see here. That inhibits, if you guys want to support us in a different way, I would highly recommend getting yourself some protection against an EMP. And I'll again, there is more news about this today. We have constantly shown you the writing is on the walls. This is, again, something that kind of refers back to that question that was just asked. I believe when the solar flare hits us, because we are overdue for one, if people protect themselves against this with something like this, then I believe this product will save lives at some point. It is a when, not an if. They know we will get another massive solar flare. They say about every 100 years we get one. You can protect your devices, your car, different devices like your ham radio, your boat, even your generator or your solar system. If you are somebody who is a prepper or not, doesn't really matter. You should be protecting yourself against an EMP with the same company that has not only been contracted with DoD, DHS, and is now officially on the DEMSO team helping protect the Texas grid. This company is not only military tested by Keystone, but it's also working with those guys. So pretty solid background. This is an advanced device. Again, make sure to go check it out, marfugelnews.com/EMP. It can be used for many different things. Again, there's a device pretty much for every kind of motor or protection that you need. Again, that's marfugelnews.com/EMP. You help the show and help protect yourself and get a discount all at the same time. All right, we're going to get our new caller, and then we're going to get into the really crazy stuff. This is, again, now there's further confirmation of this, which we already heard about this, about him telling them to get ready for conflict. But we didn't have it 100% mainstream confirmation of it. Now we do know for a fact he is telling them to get ready to defend their motherland, or whatever they call it. Dex, let's get up. Ann from Ann Lynn's show. Awesome. Seriously made my day that she's calling right now. That's awesome. I love when I am actually happy to see a caller. Ann from Ann Lynn. What is going on? If you want.
Hi, how are you tonight?
I am fantastic, Ann. How are you doing?
I am good too.
So I have a video link here. Are you sharing something here that we should all be seeing here? Sounds like it.
No, I didn't have a video, but I don't know. Did Dex send you a video?
I think he just sent your channel. That's what he did.
Okay.
All right, so this is the Ann Lynn show. If you guys have not seen, I was recently on her show just a few weeks ago. Her and her sister are amazing comedians in their own right. They make their own videos. They started their channel out of the Fugel fam, and they have actually put a lot of effort into editing, into making stuff. It looks like you just did something for Alaska Prepper. Is that right?
Yes, we had Alaska Prepper on last week. We sure did.
Oh, that is awesome.
And
great guy.
Yeah, we've been doing weekly live streams, and we have had a different guest. We've had Fugel fam members, and we've had creators, and we've had outside the Fugel fam. And actually this week, on Thursday, we have a special show. We're going to have Mr. Bob Wells from Cheap RV Living, and he is going to be talking about the nomadic life. And there's a whole set of people, who live in their vehicles and RVs, and they gather out west. And so we're real excited for him to be on our show this week.
So,
and we want...
Go ahead.
And we're looking forward to having both you and Dex on at the same time.
Oh, we would love to. And just to let people know about Alaska Prepper is a good person to follow as well, because he actually does payday preps, because when he started his channel, at least, I don't know what his situation is now, he works a normal job, and then what he would do is every payday, every time he got a normal paycheck, he would put a percentage of it, map it out, and then go as cheap as he could or as affordable for the best prep he could get. So he basically shows you how to do it affordably and helps people prep for, not a lot of money, because prepping can be expensive if you just go with whatever you Google. It's actually very expensive. You probably know that, though.
Yeah, I mean, that was an excellent interview. He seems to be a very wonderful man, and a very sharing man. He gives back to his community, and he's just a really awesome guy. Everybody should really follow Alaskan Prepper. I highly recommend him to help you get started on getting prepped. And that's actually why I called today, because we think of food, of course, that we're prepping for food and things like that, but there's times, and that's why I called in, just to let you know that we had a home incident. It's been week before last now, and where we had a water break, and we were not able to use our bathrooms for a couple days. And that's kind of a big thing when you can't go potty. And we, recently my husband Dave and I moved to New York. And so now, being honest, I don't know anybody up here except for the few people that I've had interaction with in the, like in the beauty shop and things like that. But I don't, we don't have any friends we can say, hey, can we come over and use your bathroom? Can we take a shower? But I was prepared. But when the plumber told us, you can't use your toilets, this is pretty basic. What do you do then? But so I told my husband, I said, Dave, go out in the garage. There's a box out there. And inside that box is a camping potty. And his eyes got really big. And I said, yeah, we're going to have to use it. And, thank goodness I had that, I mean, I know this is kind of maybe silly for some people.
No,
but
it's not.
When, you have, there's things you have to do, guys. And so in that box, I mean, I also had wipes and paper, or I had toilet paper, and but I also had the liners, and then they have like this little blue stuff like you put in it to hold down odor and that kind of a thing. And then it's
basically a porta potty.
I go to Walmart and I get these for $5. They have these wipes like they use in the nursing homes and the hospitals for washing yourself up. They're a disposable washcloth. So I had a case of them. So I pulled those out and I said, here you go. Here's your shower, And we had cases of water. So we could use our water, but it couldn't go down the sink. You could brush your teeth, but you couldn't. You didn't want to flush or use the sink. So I mean, and now we're all back to normal. But there's a period of time when, it's kind of like, oh my word,
So, Ann, that's one main point. So if we lose electricity, we lose everything. We lose water. We lose running water. And people don't realize that. When you first said, okay, so we have 3-4 days, you don't know anybody in New York. Of course, you could knock on your neighbor's door, but during CV, who is going to go, yeah, come on in and use my toilet? Especially if it was a year ago. Yeah, think about that. When they first started this whole thing, they said that a lot of people were getting it by using a toilet. Who would let you use their toilet? But that's if your neighbor has water. But if your neighbor doesn't have water, what do? The thing is in a second, it can all turn around to the point where you are back to the medieval ages. You are digging a hole in the backyard, and you are doing that. And people aren't prepared for it, and they're not ready. And think about this. If you didn't have those nice wipes, it sounds like you actually had a nice setup. You basically had a little mini porta potty with all the setup to make it, at least, doable. But what if you didn't have those wipes?
Yeah.
What if you didn't have that? And if it was a big event, the stores wouldn't have any. You wouldn't have nothing.
No. So that's why it's really important now that if you have an extra $2 or $5, but it's $2, right? $2, you can take it to the Dollar Tree and buy 2 packages of wipes. You can go to Walmart and for $5 buy a pack of these washcloth size disposable wipes, and they're really nice. They're the kind that they use in the hospital when you can't get up and get a shower, but they'll give you a pack of these little wipes, and they work. And you can make it work, and you will be okay. But, I think there's little things like this that sometimes we forget about. So I was kind of reminded.
We take for granted.
That, hey, when this happened at our house, and when we had, a bathroom over the kitchen, leaked into the kitchen, and, now you have water gushing into the kitchen. And, and then meantime, we had a sewer issue, believe it or not, from our house to the street, and they were saying, it was clogged up. They couldn't get it unclogged, and they called in the big dog with his equipment. He couldn't get it unclogged, and it was like the next step was tearing up this beautiful new concrete that the prior owners had laid, out in the driveway. But the guy goes, I'll give it one more last try. And I'm like seriously praying at this point, and it unclogged. And so, but we still couldn't use it because the water break. We had we had a twofer. We had a two in one day that day. But, guys, when these things happen, they are a big incident to you when they happen. And if you are prepared in some way or fashion, it makes it so much better. Because I took that potty and I took it up into the bathroom, my husband's bathroom, because we have our own. But I took it up in there and I set it up, and and I had the wipes there and I had everything good to go. So, because
are you sure? I don't know if we want to. I don't know if we want to go any further with this story.
Pardon me?
Are we going to go through the whole story? Because we might not want to follow through. I don't know if I want to hear the ending.
The ending is good. Everything got put back together, and the drywall got repaired, and the bathroom got fixed, and I'm a happy camper. But I'm just saying, these are these unexpected little things that happen, don't they, Adam?
Yeah.
And they're big to you. When they happen, they're big events to you.
Oh yeah.
And when anything happens like that, when you don't have food to eat, that's a big, big thing. But if you have that a little extra money where you can buy something, and also think about all these other little things. Think about getting a 5-gallon bucket. You know what I'm saying? Get these basic things, guys. We're going to need them.
Well, and again, we're going to have Alaska Prepper help us on a segment we're going to call Prepper Minutes. We're going to have people just like him to have little sections where you can do-it-yourself stuff and different little tips that will help, because we obviously call out the problem. We need to call out the solution. Well, thank you so much, Ann Lynn, Ann from the Ann Lynn Show. Again, Lynn is her sister. Thank you so much again for calling in, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And me and Dex would love to come on your show, okay?
Yep, you all have to work it out.
All right, well, let's plan it. Again, we'll give you a ring tomorrow, okay?
We love you all.
All
yes,
right.
Sir. Yes, sir. We love you all. We love the Fugel fam.
All right, and hello to Lynn as well. I hope you're watching. All right, bye-bye. That was Ann from Ann Lynn Show, the sweetest ladies you will ever see. They honestly go above and beyond with everybody. They've never said a negative thing about anybody I've ever heard. These are not... I don't know. I've met so many people online, and almost everybody gossips. These people do not gossip. I like when I meet people that do not gossip. That really is. Oh, and then they had Totally Tea on. They've had a lot of the Fugel fam bigger channels on here. Homesteading in the Heartland. Kimberly of Pretty Over 50. They've had a lot of people. Dex, if you want to see the show that Dex was on, Dex is 2 months ago. Mine was last month. Vlad the Impaler, Vlad Gruitz is on there, and then, which by the way, we haven't even really seen him as often here. So again, go check him out. CFP was on there, Central Florida Prepper. All right, and then now we get into some crazy stuff. So back to that question. It says, sensing weakness, Xi Jinping commands Chinese military to be ready for war. It says Chinese leader Xi Jinping told the country's military and armed police force to step up preparations for conflict. It says Xi has told the country's military and armed police force to get combat ready to defend national sovereignty and security amid fears that Beijing may be planning an invasion of Taiwan. It says in the next few years, according to Radio Free Asia. It says, speaking with the PLA and People's Armed Police leaders, Xi emphasized the entire army needs to strengthen its performance so as to do a good job of ensuring a good start for the 14th five-year plan and of celebrating the 100th anniversary of the founding of the party. It says Xi, who doubles as commander-in-chief, also called for strengthened military training and preparations for... It says we should persist in using combat to guide our work, step up preparations for conflict, as well as developing a top-level strategic deterrent and joint forces combat system, he added. Mind you, joint forces combat system. They are drilling right now like crazy. They are targeting the waterways. That is what I believe they are going to go after first. I don't know if they'll do it at the same time. When they look at these plans, you can't just do it. People go, oh, people have been saying that for years. It takes decades to plan something on this level. And they are doing it. They have groups doing it. I believe that is my personal belief, and this is my opinion, is that they lost half of their nuclear scientists because those nuclear scientists did not want to give their skill, talent, or anything at the risk of either being taken out or being barred from all work in ever. They could lose their livelihoods, their careers, everything. They all resigned at the same time. Half of them, 100 or so nuclear scientists said, nope, we're not going to have a part of it. Why? It must have been something so big. It wasn't a strike because they weren't getting paid enough. Those people, which we've talked to several experts, they said that they get treated the best out of most of these people. As far as if you are in research and development and you are doing work directly for the Chinese government, you are set up higher than normal people. To leave that and to have an X on your back for the rest of your life, that takes, some morals and some high ground. Whatever they resigned from is something bad. And other countries are, they're reporting the same thing. I believe I first saw that story on Australian news. No, it wasn't even. Dex, I don't know if you remember. Do you remember where we actually first saw that? I don't know if I don't know if you were with me then. You were with me, weren't you?
Hey Adam, what am I remembering?
The nuclear scientists leaving from the Chinese research and development. And you are completely clear, so obviously you weren't there with me. But again, I'll actually pull that up, and then Dex can add it to the website. There is something big in the making, and it's much, much bigger. So, and we'll pull up, and I'll be able to tell you who this is. And they all did it on the same day. 90 Chinese nuclear scientists who resigned. Oh, look, it looks like an update. This is Global Times, so that is Chinese government-owned thing. It says 90 nuclear scientists who resigned were allegedly poached. So are they saying that they were stolen by another country? It says more than 90 nuclear scientists with an institute under Chinese Academy of Sciences resigned in mass, according to media reports, with the unusual high number of resignation drawing public attention, considering the essential service the scientists provide. An employee of the Institute of Nuclear Energy Safety Technology, or INEST, under the Hefei Institutes of Physical Science, said that more than 90 researchers who voluntarily left their jobs were poached, and the resignations were part of a normal staff turnover. The Shanghai-based news website, the paper reported Thursday. This doesn't make any sense. You don't leave they were doing direct research and development for the Chinese government. I call BS. So, think about that. And then, so that even confirms it, because that is their news confirming it did indeed happen. Other countries reported that. U.S. didn't report it, funny enough. And then, of course, we have unveils an underground missile city fitted with electronic conflict equipment. It says that I released images of film footage on Monday of what it said was the new Revolutionary Guards armed with cruise and ballistic missiles and electronic warfare. It says a report on state TV described the base as a missile city and showed rows of what looked like missiles in a depot with cement walls. It did not give any details on its location. It says Alireza Tangsiri, the head of the Elite Revolutionary Guards Naval Unit, told state TV that the base had equipment to detect enemy signals. The report said that the base's electronic warfare equipment included radar monitoring, simulation, and disruption systems. The new systems and equipment make IRGC Navy be capable of launching precision missiles from underground, launching naval mines with different ranges, firing at 360 degrees, confronting electronic warfare, and increasing the range and destruction power in operations. It says, what we see today is a small section of the great and expansive missile capability of the Revolutionary Guards Naval Forces. Guards Commander Major General Hussein Salami said in the broadcast. It says, according to Mayors Salami, I don't know if I'm saying that right, also noted that 4 decades of enemies' unity against the Islamic Republic has only resulted in their defeat and disappointment, and referred specifically to the imposition of sanctions and waging of economic conflict. So once you see the pictures, it really does start coming pretty clear here how much these guys are preparing. I'll show you pictures here in a second. It says, and I don't know. Okay, there we go. It says America is headed to a showdown over Taiwan, and China might win. This is from Bloomberg. Again, it says the world has now endured upheaval by a pandemic for almost a full year, and the aftershocks will continue long after most people finally receive the V to CV. Thus, you may say this is no time to frighten the horses by highlighting another peril. However, just as nothing says that if tragedy strikes a family once, it cannot do so again. Ask the Kennedys. It says, so fate can be mean on mercy when it comes to apocalyptic threats. It says that the Council for Foreign Relations, which again, I just want to remind you, we talked about Deagle, Edwin Deagle. He was on that Council for Foreign Relations, has published a new report by 2 respected public servants, which urges the imminence of the risk conflict between China and U.S. over Taiwan. That territory, 90 miles off of China's coast and inhabited by 24 million people, is not a nation, but for decades has been an unofficial American protectorate. So basically a place has its own set of things, and we protect it. During 2020, Robert Black Dewall and Philip Zeklow says, we came to believe that a crisis was building over Taiwan and that it was becoming the most dangerous flashpoint in the world for a possible conflict that involved the U.S., China, and probably other major powers. The horrendous global consequences should preoccupy the B team, beginning with the president. It says the White House seems to agree. President JB held a virtual meeting with the leaders of Australia, India, and Japan, the first summit of the so-called Quad since Secretary Lloyd Austin was about to visit Japan and South Korea next week in Alaska. And it says Blinken will have the administration's first face-to-face talks with the Chinese. So Blinken will have the face-to-face, not the other B. Or maybe he'll send his wife, I don't know. Or he'll send Harris. I don't know. I don't think they want both of B and G on camera actually talking face-to-face. The body language experts would probably go nuts with that one. Yeah. Stormy Weather, thank you for your support. It says, beware, my aunt nearly died from a reaction to... Yeah, I can't say that. By the way, my mother-in-law has asked me to come up with reasons not to do it. And I'm trying to, again, I have another family member who has been in research for 30 years, worked for Fred Hutch for 20 years, and now works for a company that is very, the employees don't even have to get it. Weird stuff there. Great conspiracy. Thank you for the lemon. Bear Claws, Patty Foots. Gone Girl 777 says, hi, Fugel fam. Can't stay all. I'll catch the replay on my trike. I pulled over. Heard alert. Gone Girl, no worries. We're glad you're out of the hospital. I did make a shout out to you earlier. Thank you for your support. And End Times, crazy, my middle name. I was there with you. And then Project Exodus. I don't know if you're still here, but again, thank you. Says, going to have to catch a replay again. Love you all. Stay blessed. And if you meant to do that twice, I do apologize. Again, thank you so much. You can revert one of those. Again, thank you so much. Project Exodus says, going to have to catch the replay again. Love you all. Stay blessed. Angel of Love. Thank you. Maddie's mommy. Thank you so much for your support, Maddie's mommy. I appreciate that. Thank you for everything you do. Angel of Love, again, thank you. And Ford Zombie, I really do appreciate that. Doc Bill, eye breaches of the 2015. I think we got that. Okay. So, as far as this goes, this is a huge flashpoint. Dex, I'm going to pull you in, and I know that later we're going to have another caller here. Sickwid, first-time caller. We'll get them in just a second, but I want you to kind of talk with me, especially about some of the stuff we've talked about off-camera and some of the things that are going on. Because we've pretty much been open about a lot of stuff. There was a couple things around the Tennessee event that we did not say, and we will not say. We tried to get some backup on that, but we think there's a lot of stuff that's all combined. I guess that's all.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the writing's on the wall, and we say that a lot. But I mean, all you got to do is look and piece the stuff together over the last 2 years, and especially what's happening over the last, even 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days, and it's really clear that things are gearing up.
And then as far as our military groups and everybody that we still keep in contact from with our old Discord group, we are moving supplies all around the world. Dex, we just recently talked to somebody who basically confirmed to us that military supplies are being spread out and spread thin because we don't know where they are going to go after. Does that concern you about, you're in Georgia, you're in the middle of the country. Do you think you'll be affected?
Well, I mean, I'm not that far from the coast because we do have coastal lines, but I do wonder, because it seems like now we're getting into more conflict again, whether you call those proxy conflicts, where we do things like we do in the S country, which, we sort of got out of. We got out of, AF. We got out of, pulled back quite a bit from those other countries in that area, right? Over the last few years. And now it seems like we're heating them back up. So that puts that on the front, so to speak. And then we've just continued to have everything that's happening over in the Asia area, especially with Taiwan and, we haven't heard much from NK, but it wouldn't surprise me if we do, although I think I heard he wasn't accepting our phone call, which was kind of ironic. But yeah, he's snubbing the current administration and not answering the phone. But I wonder which person in our administration is making the call. But yeah, I don't see how, we're in a position to we have to be spread out because things are happening everywhere, and we've got stuff in Europe now because we're worried about Russia and the things that we've been doing there for the last 6 months. So yeah, we're spreading ourselves really thin.
Europe is preparing, Australia is preparing, every country is preparing. So for those that keep telling us, you're being a conflict monger or any of this stuff, that's crazy. It's going to happen. It's a matter of time. Is there a way around it? I don't see how. The military-industrial complex still has to. They'll pay for both sides. They will pay for both sides. There is CIA and NSA, those loops that will fund two sides of a conflict. You think of that like CIA funding not only the police force but the narco side of things. There's history where there's declassified stuff where we funded and gave weapons to one party to take out the other, and then that party we gave weapons to ends up being the bad guys later on, including Al over there in the Middle E. You know who I'm talking about? Al, that they said, rode on those big white chariots right into the two tall towers. We were giving them weapons up until like 96 or something like that. Again, that whole thing is separate. That's a different hole you can go down for years. And,
didn't I just hear they're coming back?
Oh, yeah. No, we covered one little piece of it. Al is back. And we're not talking about Al Bundy. They're back. The cells are back. All this stuff is back. So guess what? We're going to see these Fantastic Freddy events again. I was just thinking this morning, there was an article, which, by the way, a 71-year-old gentleman takes out 3 people, injures 6 on a bridge. And funniest part about this, there's no funny part about it. Let me point out this to you, though. This is how downtown Seattle and everywhere is, and I just thought, oh my gosh, it's everywhere. So a 71-year-old man took out people, and I was thinking, man, was this like downtown? Was this on a street corner? It was under a bridge, but yet there were 10, 15 people under there. And I was thinking, hold on, watch this. Man drives. Check this out. So you probably saw this on today's news. I didn't include it. San Diego. Okay? So, but look at the picture of where this is, and the way they worded it in almost every article was, they didn't say it was a homeless encampment. This is down on a road, a main road, under an underpass. The 71-year-old man did not do it. This was not a Fantastic Freddy event. This was a 71-year-old who genuinely veered off the road and accidentally went on the sidewalk. Normally, if this happened, he would have just crashed right into the bridge, but it just so happened that that they just happened to have 40 tents under this thing, and they said, we're not going to call it an encampment, but there were people with tents and things. So this entire bridge area has been turned into a homeless encampment. People don't see where that's going to be dangerous. I personally help homeless, and I don't brag about it, because if you brag about helping the homeless, then those are the people that I really just can't stand, because my mom was homeless, so it's personal for me. It's not something I do for glee, but I don't support them being on main roadways and taking over parts of the city. They should have help. They should have places where they can set up tent cities like the one my mother stayed in. We stayed under a bridge. I stayed under a bridge, but it wasn't a bridge that was on a main road. It was the Ballard Bridge, and there was, it was dirt, and nobody went down there, except for the creepos and scary people that I was around when I was a child. But there wasn't a main road where I could just walk out and get hit by a car. This 71-year-old man ended up taking 3 lives and basically hit 10 people. He, again, when I saw this, when I first saw, person takes out all these people, I thought, oh gosh, not this again. Because if you remember, for a couple years, we were having this happen all the time. It was an actual thing. Charlotte, all these different places where cars just driving into people. Now all of a sudden it's gone. Or all of the events of all the random people that just took up things, bang bangs, and went into places and took people out. I wonder if it's still happening. They're just not covering it because it doesn't go with what's going on. Have you noticed that? Dex, have you noticed we haven't had coverage like that? We haven't had any huge church events or Walmart things.
And every time we've had something small or look like it could be one of those, it just sort of fizzled out in the news really quick, right? We've seen a few of these micro events, if you want to call them that, where the numbers are small. And I usually think, I start looking like something big's going to happen here, but then nothing happens.
But guess what? Those aren't over. They're only going to start. They have something planned that makes 2001 look like chicken feed, and it's still coming. And that's not to scare people. That's to let people know you need to keep your head on a swivel. And it looks like they would do it all at once. So if it is going to hit us, it's going to hit us hard, and there's not much we could do about it. But you can get your prep and your stuff ready to be able to survive something if something does go down. And if it does go down, if it goes down on a major level, there won't be many cities that won't be affected. Use that Fugel finger and tickle that like button. That was hard to read. Zippy Moons says, brag to your friends that more Fugel news is tops. Thank you. At least you put me as a top. Zippy Moons, thank you again. I don't know why it's showing up twice on everything. Whom authorities identified as a 71-year-old, appeared to be driving while impaired when his car suddenly veered off the street shortly after 9 a.m. local time near a community college and went onto the sidewalk briefly before returning to the road. It says, for whatever reason, the driver veered to the right, went up on the sidewalk, struck multiple pedestrians there, and then came back onto the roadway. 3 people were gone, 5 at the other. Nobody said that. Look at how this one didn't even mention that. They're not even showing pictures of where it was. A crowd on a sidewalk. Look at how they wrote this. Just so you know, it wasn't they made it sound in this one like it's a crowd on the corner. Let's see if this one does. Not saying this is horrible in all different ways, but I just think it's crazy that they're not pointing out that this was a homeless encampment. Okay, wow, somebody did it. A driver plowed through a sidewalk homeless encampment in downtown San Diego on Monday. Every city, it looks like this now. I'm gonna show you downtown, and frankly, it's just crazy. It's crazy downtown Seattle right now. And I feel bad for each one of those people, but man, how is the world just going to crap right in front of us? It's true what is going on. They are shutting down all the small businesses. Michelle K. Oh, yeah, if you had a business downtown Seattle, you are screwed. Every last place. And it's not just Seattle. That's what everybody's so vain. Thinks, oh, my city's getting messed up. All of them are. And global. People in Europe. In Europe, this is happening. This is all over the world. And we're watching it. And we all stay in our little bubble and we try to watch TV, or they distract us with the devices. Heck, I distract you from some of that. Isn't that crazy? But when we look outside, it is very scary out there. Apocalypse at my window. All right, let's get Sickwit on, and then looks like Jessica is on deck. And Sickwit is a first-time caller calling out of Florida. Had a house fire. Oh, man. What's going on with this? I'll load up the video and then... All right, Sickwid, what is going on?
Hey, Adam. How you doing?
I'm doing good. So what am I showing these fine people?
Pretty much what's left of my home after a fire on the front porch took it out.
Oh, geez, hold on. Let me see if I can.
And go ahead.
So what happened?
As far as we can tell, it was a power strip that was connected on the front porch, and it apparently had a short. And that's where they believe the fire started. And I was sitting in the back room of the house, which is about the only room that didn't get burnt, and one of my daughters come to the back, which was Serenity, and told me that my oldest daughter, Anna, had seen a fire outside. And I immediately got up, walked to the front porch, or not to the front porch, but to the front room, and looked at the front windows, and they were flickering. And I thought one of the neighbors' houses was on fire. And opened the front door, and my entire front porch was on fire. It's just something that you can't plan for and you don't see for coming, and it's definitely something people need to think about and not take for granted, like me and Dex were talking about. Make sure that you have homeowners insurance, which I do. It's still a fight, but maybe if I would have had a fire extinguisher, I could have fought it. But it doesn't matter what you prep for. There's always something you might not be thinking about, something you might not see coming. And I definitely did not see this coming. What you're seeing on the videos is pretty much 7 years of my life, gone. My family's life gone, but everybody got out. Nobody was hurt. I don't want anybody to think anybody got hurt. We did almost lose a cat, which some people don't think very much of animals, but my wife and my 2 children, those are family members to them, and if we'd have lost one of them, I'd have been dealing with that.
Oh no! Anybody that has animals, that has dogs or cats, they are personalities. They are, yeah. If you don't agree with that, then you've not had a cat or dog you loved. So, my cats are all like people Absolutely. In our house. Yeah, no, I get you. And our dog. His name is Gary. He's a human. The guy is a super smart jerk. But yeah, no, I get you. And then thank God you guys didn't get hurt. But understandably, that's what I'm saying. Things will hit you in the side of the head, and you'll never expect it. A faulty power line or just an arc, not. Could take you out. What if you were asleep? And my good friends in high school died from that, and they didn't even know they were in their sleep. They breathed in carbon monoxide, and they just went quietly and never had a chance.
And that's where I was pretty much at, was in bed getting ready for sleep. It was 8:30 p.m. that night. I had work the next morning, and if it wouldn't have been for my 2 daughters coming back there to get me, if they would have just not paid it any attention, that could have been an entirely different story. You might be just reading it in, one of your articles or something, and not knowing the story behind it.
Well, I'm so sorry this happened to you. And again, Sickwit, I wish you luck with everything with your, obviously if they can replace some of this stuff. Some things are just not replaceable. Sickwit, I'm going to send everybody.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to send everybody to your channel here. It's Sickwid, SICKWID. Thank you so much for calling in, and I'm praying for you, and I'm praying for your situation to immediately flip around, and I'm praying for you to immediately have just a blessing and a half come your way. Okay.
And that's all I could ask for, Adam. And I just want to tell you the same thing I told Dick. So I'm having trouble talking. I mean, because I'm starstruck by you and Dex. Both of y'all are just awesome people, and what y'all do is just an awesome thing. And when this happened, you two were the first ones that I thought to call, get a hold of, and at least talk to, and get the Fugel fam at least praying. I mean, it's nothing else. But thank you for taking time to listen to my story, and let me share it with people.
Well, we're just normal people like you, and if this happened, I would hope you'd do the same for us. So thank you so much, and again, Sickwid, thank you, and God bless you, and you have a great night. That was Sickwid. I hope everybody goes over and drops a subscribe. Again, maybe he can video his journey and rebuilding. That's a really horrible thing. My sister's good friends and the little brother who was my friend died in high school. Well, my sister was in high school. I was in I want to say I was in elementary, but they died in their cabin, and they didn't have a chance because they were all asleep, and the carbon monoxide took them out. So they said that one of them got out, 2 of them did not, including my sister's friend and her little brother, and it was really, really sad. That was in Marysville, Washington. It was pretty rough. The whole town was pretty just screwed up about it because It's not, you never expect it. It's not like you expect your, all of a sudden one of your outlets to go and start popping. I've lived in places with bad electricity. I lived in a house where the guy split up a 3-bedroom house into 8 bedrooms so he could rent them out. It was my first, grown-up apartment. And it was like he turned the upstairs and just put a drywall in, 4 different places. Like I had like this little slant corner, what most people would have, smaller than most people's closets. I paid $450 in the U District for, and the guy was a known slumlord. But that guy, his electronic, I would plug things in and it would start flaming, and then I'd call him and he goes, "Oh, I'll just replace the cover." What? I don't even think that house. Oh, and then while I was living there for just a short 2 months, we had the, and by the way, we couldn't live there. One, they came to look at ants that was reported by one of the tenants. And they came and they said the stairs up, which they hand built and were rickety as hell. The guy that was looking at the house said he wouldn't even step on them. The guy that looked at structural stuff, he wouldn't go up them. So he said nobody could live in the house. So we all had to get out. And that was like a 4-story thing that literally he like cut a hole in the roof and then took a attic that nobody was supposed to be staying in and turned it into 4 bedrooms. Oh, God. If you have a story like that, leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. But again, you don't expect it, and if it happens, it's like there's no knowing when things are going to happen like this. Bold the Coffee, what is going on? Q22G, thank you. Again, thank you everybody over on the D. Let's see here. Zippy Moons, thank you for your massive support tonight. Empress 46. Labs Matter. I love that. Again, Bamlo, Carrie Lake, thank you. Don't want the rhythm to see me saying the wrong thing here. Kurgston, Bear Claws, Geisy, 7 Ruby, Rose, I appreciate that. Cheryl from Daytona, Serenity, PA, what is going on? Stormy Weather, thank you so much again for your support tonight. And Empress 46, thank you for the Ninja Genie. I appreciate that. All right, let's see here. Let's get our next caller on. It looks like we have Jessica. Jessica, you are going to be live on Marfugal News, calling from Ohio. And then, Dex, when she gets on, will you just give me a heads up?
Yeah, we're working on it.
Okay, I'm going to pull something up here. Let's just refresh Sickwid. And remember, you can go to our website, marfugalnews.com, to get notifications. Go and sign up at marfugalnews.com. Email alerts. We send out... I don't even think we've sent out one this month. So we don't blitz your inbox. We make sure that each notification and each email matters. As far as our notifications, those are just push notifications when we go live. So go to marfugalnews.com to sign up for it. All right, Dex, are you... if there's an issue... I can pull up an article here.
About 10 more seconds.
Okay. Let's see here. Diana Boss says, love to all of you here at the Fugel fam. Rip Curl, H. Shalom, Angel Webster, Lisa Renee, Nature's Bounty Homestead, Herman. I don't know if you're saying Herman FGTSY, like good to see you, or Herman effing good to see you. Adam, they're going to start animal logs for all animals. Ugh. They're just going to track everybody, including our little pet animals, because they do have a personality.
And hey, Adam, I guess we're having more technical issues than I expected with this. So let's maybe hit one article, and I'll try and get
Okay.
Jessica back.
All right. If not, we can get her in on the next one. Okay, so I'm gonna show you over at the website. By the way, follow us on Twitter at Marfugel for the notifications. This and the official notification go out from us at the same exact time. You can go follow me at Marfugel there. And then on our website, there is all sorts of news, web only. So I'm going to zoom in on this. Half of this stuff I can't even go over. But there's some really, really good ones here. Look at this. All B administration attempts to contact NK have failed. That's huge. Something is going on. All of the military groups that we used to have and all of the ranking officials we've talked to, and we're talking about, not a private, have said that right now everything is being moved around for as far as defensive measures. And at the same time, you have China saying everything is being moved around for defensive measures. So it's almost like both sides are saying that, they're going to be the ones that are defending themselves. I think that's weird. Somebody's lying. Somebody's, somebody is not telling the truth here. And Dex, if Jessica is really having an issue, we can always get her on the next call-in, which would be Wednesday. And don't know if we're okay. So we're having technical difficulties. Okay, so this actually goes with our last section here. So this is the new missile city at an undisclosed location. Is this nuts or what? So people think that they are ass backwards. That is not true whatsoever. They've got big help from big countries. And now, why would you get all of this ready just to kind of go between your little kind of side conflict with the other country that you've been going back and forth with? This isn't for that. This is massive. They are getting ready for a massive assault. And just to remind you, they are the ones that T-Man basically said that they were planning something that made September of 2000. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I did not see this the first time. That is Soleimani. Is that not? I believe that is a remembrance of Soleimani. And remember, they did not, those are all the people we took out. I'm sorry, but that is one of the creepiest things I've ever seen. I did not notice that the first time around. That is freaking creepy. John Carlson said he didn't pay his AT&T bill. Yeah, he's most wanted. Is that? Mockingbird said that. Goosebumps. Okay, do you know what this is? I mean, if you know who Soleimani is and how we took him out, and now a year later after him getting taken out. So somebody says, "Why are you smiling?" Because that was kind of funny.
I got Jessica now.
Okay, let's get her on. That is creepy.
Hello?
Hello. What is going on, Jessica? Sorry we haven't had
Hello?
difficulties
Oh
there.
my gosh, I am so sorry about that.
That is all right.
Technical issues with the phone.
So what is
So
happening?
I'm actually laughing about like your pardon?
No, go ahead.
I was just laughing about your previous call, and you were talking about, has anyone had an experience about being stuck in an apartment with someone took an attic and made 4 apartments out of it, and I'm one of those people. So I actually went through Hurricane Sandy in an apartment like that, so that was kind of crazy. Anyway, yeah, so I'm calling about, there should be a site that Dex is sending over, and it's with an article called Near-Death Experiences that Predict the End of the, and I'm not sure if I can say that whole phrase. So,
Yeah, say end of the world. That's okay.
Yeah, I didn't know if I could say that phrase and not get you
No.
docked here, but really it's a big website. There's a lot to unpack in here, and this is one of those things that sometimes like when you go through hard things in life, it's I've definitely gone through some weird things, and I like to go back and read near-death experiences or listen to accounts of these things. And I know this is a topic that's probably better for your Friday nights and the unidentified things, but it just feels that like everything we talk about on this show resonates with something that I've heard on one of these accounts. So I remember, even back when I was in high school, I would, read some of these things. There's books and, all kinds of, that's the article. Great. And I remember being in high school and, hearing an account about, someone who went to the other side and was shown future events. And one of them, they were talking about, how the atmosphere was going to be ruined by some sharks coming out of a plane, and I didn't even understand what they were talking about. And then here we are today, with these same issues. So they talk about everything from like population decline, grid failures, food shortages, meteors, conflicts in that place in the desert over there in the middle area, storms, earthquakes, pole shifts, extraterrestrials. So these are all essentially possible futures. Like nothing is set in stone. So all these different people who are on this, and this is just one site. You can look at, there's a group called IANDS, so it's IANDS, and then there's also something called NDE Radio with Lee Whitting, so it's WITTING. And he kind of interviews people who have had these sort of experiences. But one of the reasons I really wanted to share this stuff, aside from just kind of curiosity and interest, is that when you guys keep talking about the Cascadia event, if you pull up that Navy map, and you kind of think about where all the water is going to end up, escaping through Arizona is probably not the best plan. There's people like Edgar Casey, and I don't know if you've ever even heard of him before, but he kind of talked about pole shifts and basically described the Navy map all the way back in the 1930s. He talks about, watch for volcanoes like Etna going off. And then it says, if you have Etna and Pele, which is in the Caribbean, or Vesuvius, know that within 3 months that Southern California is pretty much going into the sea. And I feel like we're really leading right into that. And this is one of those possible futures that we can have. So thanks for pulling that up. If you really look at that map, that's the center of the U.S. is full of water. Nevada is underwater. All these places are getting inundated. And, this is something that Edgar Casey talks about. And it makes sense when you tie it with, you really sit and think about everything we discuss. You're constantly mentioning Dutch sense. And he talks about, here's, some part of Utah or Nevada that has volcanoes and lagoliths that were formed when this area was underwater. And it makes sense that this may go underwater again. And it just really struck me, 2 weeks ago when you had that one lady call in and talk about her daughter, this real young child who was like, I'm afraid of the Grand Canyon and I don't want to go near the water because of tsunamis. And I think she's right. I think these little kids are kind of getting insight into not necessarily visions, or maybe they are visions, but at least these little kids are kind of giving us, they're more attuned to some of this. I don't know. So anyway, that big site is there for, to just kind of go through and look at possible futures, possible things that can happen. And as we're all kind of prepping, and thank you again for your channel, because I was prepped and my family was prepped and ready for when all this stuff happened that started last year, last January. But anyway, preparing, continuing to do that, and to kind of think positively. That's one of the big things that, a lot of these NDEers discuss, is that it's really about love. And when people they go to the other side and they're kind of asked, what did you do to help others? And it's just such a profound thing, so I don't know if, this article will help anyone in the power of prayer, and to just kind of, be kind to each other, that we are going through some really crazy stuff. And when we do pray and we do work together and we do try to help each other out, it kind of alleviates the severity of some of the things that could potentially happen. So really, I don't want to take up too much time here. And again, I'm really sorry about the phone.
I do have a statement about this map. About the map and about this. I don't think that, so humans, we built all of this. Just think about how little time we have had skyscrapers and buildings and civilization built on these coastline type things. You have to understand, every mountain in the world was formed at one point, and Cascadia subduction zone, like many other subduction fault zones, that is two huge plates, and that is how mountains are made. Technically, after a 5-minute quake, or after a 5.5-minute quake, an earthquake of that size, this isn't just an earthquake, this is two plates, a full margin rupture. It's all the way from Canada to California, snapping and going like this. It could create a mountain. It could change the way the world looks. If we look at how the world was compared to how it is now, humans, because of our lifespan is so small, we don't understand that, Vesuvius or any of these things, a rock that falls off half of the mountain in Hawaii could cause a tsunami that's just as bad, that puts us all underwater. You know what I mean? Like, we don't get it because we're reactive. We're not proactive. We don't understand that this is a reality. We put it to the back of our head. We don't think about it, and we don't want it to be true. But then when it happens, everybody says the same thing, like, oh my gosh, it's like out of a movie. Those movies are based on real life.
Exactly. Absolutely. This is exactly what Edgar Casey's talking about. So, here he is in 1937 kind of giving these, messages to people, and he's saying that, it may seem weird to think about Southern California being connected to Mount Etna and Pele or Vesuvius, but you're exactly right. They're two big plates shifting, and that's where, on this map that we're looking at, you're seeing two extra bodies of land that are out there, that were once underwater. So really what I'm trying to say is this is such crazy, wild stuff that we're preparing, but are we fully preparing for like the whole, I guess, spiritual, sociological impact of all of this? What is this going to do to humanity itself? And I really want to just say, love each other and help each other as much as you can, and pray and thank God for the Fugel family. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Well, and people don't talk about how half of Canada is covered up on the very top, from the top end down. Yeah. It's scary if this is anywhere near true. People have said, oh, this has been debunked and whatever else. It has not. Not in my eyes, because if you look into the debunking of it, they said, oh, it was in this book and this and that. This has been around way longer than that. That's why. There are people that have done drawings that go back, and they said that this was going to happen and that they knew it was going to happen.
Yes.
And that's what's scary about it.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so thank you so much. And I just, one last thing, I just want to say I really love your music. I love your jams at the end, your shoutros, and I'm sending everyone in the Fugle fam a really, really huge hug. And I love all of you. I'm praying for everyone that's out there. And yeah, I just, we'll make it through one way or another,
Well, I
you.
agree with you 100% on that note, and I think that we should all be pushing each other up. I just had a talk with somebody today, and I said that's one of our main goals is that we need to be pushing people up, not tearing them down. So thank you so much for your call, and I guarantee that everybody in the audience is saying the same thing. Thank you for calling in, and Jessica, I'm glad we were able to get you on before we go.
Thank you. God bless you.
All right, God bless you as well. Thank you. Bye-bye. Well, you heard it. One person likes my music. All right, Dex. And thank you so much, my internet brother. All right, we're going to get out of here. Again, if you have anything to say, speak now or forever. I don't know where I came up with that. Speak in the comments. Let's start a discussion. Do you think that this new Navy map is accurate? If you stuck around this long, I would hope you would leave a comment or a like or something like that. Thank you and appreciate you. JV, if something big is about to hit us, do you think getting people used to it? Very likely way of living after the event is part of the protocol or contingency plan as a preparation. Is that happening now? That's an interesting way to look at it. David Drake, thank you, the fourth. David Drake, the fourth, thank you so much for your support tonight. If I don't believe I missed anybody. Sparky's Run, thank you so much. Says, don't believe it, stay frosty, true and smart. Hold on for the ride of our lives, Fugle family. And then Sparky's Run, again, I appreciate that. How and Howsy and Wilsey, thank you so much for going over to PayPal there during the show. I appreciate that. And Project Exodus, really do appreciate it. Gone Girl 777, I hope you're doing better. All right, it is now time for the shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout out. It's a shoutro. Through hard times, I feel for you. I am not far behind. For those of you going through hard times, I feel for you. I am not far behind. For those of you going through hard times, I am not far behind. For those of you going through hard times, I feel for you. I am not far behind. Thank you, everybody that came tonight. I really do appreciate you. If you want to support us in any way, go over to morefugelnews.com and check out the different ways to do so. Mind you, the EDEC bag is on the screen right now, which is basically a way to protect yourself from getting tracked or traced. You go off-grid once your item is in that bag. Thank you, Gone Girl, and everybody else out there, and thank you for those who support the show when it's on. I really do appreciate it. Dex and I are trying to expand, so we do appreciate it. Nana Deborah Black Matter, thank you so much. Saying, great show. Louisiana Skywatch, love y'all. Unicorn Forest and Nola W53, thank you for sticking around. And Sun for You, thanks for gifting out Mafia badges. I just wanna walk on the side of a piece of land that might not be there anymore. California underwater. Those of you. Let's go to a funky one. It was a funky. It was a funky Black Lives Matter when it 49 sipping moons, everybody knows you. Hey, wanna bring it with the bear claws. Carry Lake, everybody just bought a road now. Gotta go with the guys on the back row. Black guys, everybody on the bass row. Lone Star, Elfender, and the Jimmy House. Shively, Kirks, and Cindy on the pillow. Bring on the dillo. High not way. Stormy on the weather on the 7 Ruby Road. Hi, everybody got the bear clouds. No, hot no. I gotta go. I bring it all the way back home. Hey, reading our gospel toe high. Kelly on the 2, 3, 3, 3, 4. Kelly on the 2, 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 3, 3, 4. Jump master, wise man, wise said, once said, miss me and Kirkston and everyone out there. I thank you for coming to Marvel News. When are you on? Bring it back, baby, bring it back. All caps kitten says bong a ribbon. Wait. Maybe not. Tim for a hat and an old out. Oh, Jimmy Shively, old out. Rome on the wire, boy out. Able body, do not give up. Cognitive Joe and a Mark Jerome. A bulldog coffee and a miss me no. Brook Hill R and Great O back because I beat the song. I just want with the ending show on my back. Do it background and no drama. I love you here all every time. Oh, I'll bring you all back in a Dabra. Oh, now, Kelly 2, 3, 4 now. Oh, Jenny, no on the channel, no friends are on the Dolly Morrison. I've been going back now like a Kelly and Zen. RZA, I am not a cat, million, oh, getting that die. Everybody and they won't want to hear, but they ain't chipped in. I got the JV, I got the Sadie, I got the David Drake B with the Ivy. I Zippy on the moons and everybody high five. Chris Sparky's run by my side, Brian Sussmalich. I got everybody, nobody come. Thank you, everybody, for your support. I'm going to be going over again. You can stop it over on the YouTube. If it does cut out, it will continue over on D-Live. I've got the right way to do it, quite frankly. TV, Patriot News, and the Shade Beat. I got the hard bastard and the hate beat. I do everything on the daily. Do everything on the daily. I see me, I'm not the same me. Team rap out and everybody, yeah. Oh, oh. Big supporter tonight, Vault 111. With Jimmy Shively right behind, Zippy Moons. Hail Rider Original. Vault 111.
Walking on the street with the Floyd 34. Kelly 23 walks up and says, 34, that's your last name? Wait, that's a mind game. So no, because I said so. I got the island, I got Anlin Shaw, and the tall drink of water in the friendly Cascadia. Bring it down back, no, I'm not a lady. Oh, you gotta go back now and leave ya. Had a sharp penny, Rezar. So bring it down now, it's so easy far. I am a real eye on the top of the head, greatest ever on the big. No, that's the screen name. I'm not a vain person on the mindset of a 925 point with the everyday's bite and the mid-girl R. Bring it down right, I like a Rickle R with the Becky on the D on the Kirk stand. I got a bit hot now doing the headstand. Roll one. I bring a hi-hat like a hi-hat. Oh, you got that Marbella, Susan Vega, Shelly, Lucia, I bring it on like a VCR. I bring it like it ain't so far. Jimmy Shively and Jimmy Moon. Hi. Million on heart and I have a double two. I got dinner must not and the stormy who know it. Bring hot down now, everything get better. Linda covering it, I'll keep upping it till I bring it down with a great area. Team run, everybody this area. I want the D, or will I bring it down? Roll one. Sparky run down the river, turn into the Tico background. I am a B out of the blue, Kelly under 4070. Out of Johnny on the Marsica, I saw the sea with the Kirk comes in. I am a smart one, rolling one for now, and now are a Jackson. To bring it back, me, I'll start up with Dex and a windy loop back, so not a Kirk comes set. Go one. A great team pack and a Charlie 64. I got some gang, no David Lord. I bring back down, now bring me 3 more. Pirates on a paradise bar. I make McKinney and she saw the bar. I enjoyed on a back now like a Jabbar. Aladdin, I be Aladdin, you still are. I know Mikey on the D on the gray area. This ain't no black and white and not a dark area. I cannot be a Berenya, Tina, Oak, and I F for General. Enjoy your mark up, I like a Neo die. I've been having a day. Oh, I say, on the banana leg. Oh, say, oh, got to get away. Oh, yeah, I bring up the bow. Got the Jimmy on the lively, on the all lively. Jimmy on the lively makes everything. Jimmy on the lively, make it go lively. 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 Jim Make it go lively. Oh, now they make a live of music on the smiley. Bring it back now, I make you real smiley. This ain't no band level going on a high beat. On the low beat, oh no. I go and I stick it on the how no. I gotta go grab on and all that. I bring it on the L or on the V now. Veteran Steve! What is up, Veteran Steve? Veteran Steve! Everybody, bow up to Veteran Steve. See how I did that? Never bow down to anyone except for... No, just kidding, not Jimmy Shiver. Lord. Sparky on the run and the substance boy. Everybody wanna go back they coin. All these phrases and they know that point. I know now there ain't no more buying.